pro NBA player Morant, I think that's how you pronounce it, spent $50,000 on a booty bender at a strip club. And the reason why I want to cover this is because this is basically one of the main reasons why these pro athletes just lose all of their money, even though a lot of them make millions upon millions of dollars. There has been NBA players that had a career earnings of over 50 million, over $100 million just in their contract earnings, and still blew every single cent that they had to the point where they ended up having to basically resort to a life of crime or fraud to try to make some money because they have no other skills. So, I really want to cover this because this is like a really big warning sign like, hey, if you start making crazy amount of money, be very careful with how you spend that money. So he's dropping more than dimes. Memphis Grizzlies all-star point guard Ja Morant dribbled and drilled over a stripper at the same Denver area jiggle joint where he blew $50,000 in tips and flashed a gun 48 hours later. Shocking photos obtained by the Post and Insider's reveal. The new March 2nd snap shows the bad boy baller at Raunchy Shotgun Willie's in Glendale, Colorado, transfixed by the backboard of a G-string clad brunette straddling his lap inside in the VIP room and almost every inch of surface covered in cash. Which, by the way, like, if you were making a crazy amount of money, you'd probably be able to find, I don't know, probably a freakier lady who probably is more attractive, who's also more loyal to you. Even if she's a gold digger, you could probably find someone. So the whole room is full of money. It's literally a pile. You'd need a rake, according to one club insider who witnessed the eye-popping hardwood scene. The vaunted 23-year-old point guard who re-signed with the Grizzlies last year in a 5-year extension deal that could be worth up to $231 million, shelled out at least $50,000 in cash tips in the two-night booty bender, two employees told the Post. Now, you might like stumble upon this video and be like, well, I mean, what's the big deal? Like, if he made potentially 231 million, spending 50 grand isn't that big of a deal. You're right. The ratio of that is not that big of a deal. But the problem is, this type of situation, you don't just randomly get to this point, right? You don't just randomly come into a bunch of money and you're like, you know what, I just want to just blow a bunch of money on strippers at a strip club, right? Tossing money all over the place. You don't just randomly get there. It's a gradual thing. So he has a habit of going to strip clubs to the point where he is okay with this, right? Meaning he probably spends thousands and thousands of dollars at strip clubs every single month. Who knows? He might be going every single day, every night, every weekend. We don't know. But you don't just randomly get to this point. This isn't like a one time thing. This is like, oh, I go to the strip club a whole bunch of times. I spend money a whole bunch of times. It keeps escalating and escalating and escalating because I know if I spend more money, I could probably get away with a lot more stuff in these strip clubs. Like, it's like anytime I see a pro athlete spending their money like this, I get very worried for the pro athlete because it's very common for pro athletes to be completely bankrupt when they are done or forced to be done from their sport. And I don't really want this guy to be in that situation where he literally has no money, right? And like, I don't think there's anything wrong with him potentially going to a strip club, spending money on a strip club, whatever, if he wants to go and do that. But again, 50 grand at like in a one night thing, tossing money all over the place. I doubt this is the first time he's done this. So I just worry that this is like a habitual thing and he just constantly spends money. And by the way, there's a lot of rumors that a lot of pro athletes, a lot of rappers, etc., will pay for girls on Instagram to go fly on a plane to go visit with them and basically sleep with them. And they pay, I don't know, potentially like a few racks, like 5 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand, depending on the Instagram girl, model, whatever, right? So who knows how much some of these guys are actually spending. And by the way, think about it. Like I think technically he spent like 50 grand without actually doing anything with the stripper. Technically, let's see. That took forever to count. A dancer recalled her colleague saying, "The club insider said Morant arrived at Shotgun Willie's with a friend and two security guards around 1:30 a.m. Just hours after the Grizzlies mauled the Rockets in Houston 113 to 99. 80 minutes after the team's plane touched down in Denver, the Memphis hotshot slinked in through the back of the club to enter the VIP room, where he sank at least $900 to book the space for 3 hours, per rates on the club's website, sources said. He was there to party. He wanted some girls in the room, the insider said. The music was very, very gangster. Hmm. So at the club, the Grizzly turned horn dog, paying for 4 dancers and bottle service and wolfing down on a Jersey busting spread of food that appeared to include a basket of hickory smoked wings, 2 platters of chicken strips and fries, and a steak, according to the insider photos. That's a little excessive, but usually excessiveness is happening all the time, the insider quipped. 2 days later, Morant rebounded after Memphis got trounced 113 to 97 in Denver. With Morant racking up 23 points, he made a fast break back to Shotgun Willie's in the wee hours of Saturday, March 4th. So exactly, like him going to strip clubs and spending a good amount of money is a common thing. Like it's a common thing for him. This time he broadcast himself on Instagram Live as he dangled a gun and belted the lyrics to Bring 'Em Out by the rapper Young Boy Never Broke Again. Deborah Donovan, the majority owner of Shotgun Willie's, confirmed Morant was a repeat customer on March 2nd and 4th. This kid, Roy Young, was exceptionally respectful and sweet, and he did not drink on his second visit, Donovan 72 said. We've had Denver Nuggets and Broncos come in and pitch quarters at the girls, be disrespectful and nasty. He's marvelous. Okay, so that's pretty good that he was respectful in that situation. But they say the gun, however, absolutely terrified shotgun girls in the back room, claimed one dancer who wasn't in the VIP room but heard complaints from her coworkers. He pulled the white boy excuse card. I'm just going through a lot right now, so I'm going to act like a fool and put other people's lives at risk, she said. Donovan said that she and police reviewed the security footage for Morant's now infamous second night and claimed nobody saw a gun. And Glendale police said they investigated Morant but determined that there was not enough evidence to charge him with a crime. Yet, following the public firestorm over the gun livestream, Morant apologized to his team and public for his actions. The Grizzlies announced hours after the social media debacle that Morant would miss 2 games, which was later extended to include an additional 4 games. The NBA is investigating Morant, and he could hit him with like a lengthy suspension if it finds that he was carrying a firearm on team premises. Our investigation is ongoing, said NBA spokesperson Mike Bass said Saturday. The Instagram misfire is the latest in a string of troubling off-court antics to plague the two-time All-Stars' meteoric rise in the league. Days before the gun incident, Morant was the subject of a Washington Post report on 2 violent incidents he was allegedly involved in last summer. A 17-year-old filed a lawsuit against Morant after he and a friend allegedly pummeled the teen over a dozen times during a pickup game last July before the hotshot went inside and returned with a gun visible in his waistband. Like, that's just so stupid. Like, the Morant guy, the pro NBA guy, like, you're the type of person that should not be carrying a weapon of any sort because you're going to get yourself in trouble, right? Because if a cop saw that, and saw you act that way with a gun in your belt, what, you think that they're not going to arrest you? It's just, like this is the thing. This is the thing that I really don't understand. You have these pro athlete guys who finally make it. Like they are financially set for life if they're just not stupid, right? And all they have to do is not get in trouble, and they are set for life. So why not just not get into trouble? Morant told a detective that the teen had first chucked a ball at his head, so he was acting in self defense. I swung first, Morant told law enforcement, adding, the ball was to me the first hit. Also in July, Morant was also accused of threatening the head of security at a Memphis mall. Morant's agent, Jim Tanner, told the Washington Post that the allegations were unsubstantiated rumors and gossip. In February, the NBA investigated allegations by the Indiana Pacers that Morant's crew aggressively confronted members of the team's traveling party and aimed a red laser at them, which they believed could have been attached to a gun. The league could not confirm any evidence that Morant's associates had threatened anyone with a weapon. Morant's best friend, Devon Pack, who was involved in the conflict, was banned from the Grizzlies' FedEx Forum for the rest of this season, and Morant's agent and lawyer did not respond to requests for comment, and the Grizzlies did not respond to requests for comment. Feel free to give your thoughts if you stumble upon this, but a lot of these athletes need to take a step back away from like their previous life, right? Because a lot of pro athletes grew up in areas that they just weren't good areas, and they were also not really making good legal money. So they're also surrounded by really bad influences. Their friends were doing probably really stupid stuff. Maybe they were also doing really stupid stuff, but they were able to get out of it. The problem is when they get out of it, and it's the same way for like a lot of rappers, when they get out of some bad areas, they still associate with the people who are still doing bad stuff. Because, maybe they want to take care of them, maybe they want to help them out, whatever, they feel like they're a part of it. But the thing is, there comes a time where you need to cut off that tie to protect yourself, to protect your family, to protect the people that you love the most, to protect your future career, your future in general. Because with the rate that this kind of seems like it's going, if he keeps associating himself with this posse of people that are basically just probably bad, he's going to get arrested. He's probably going to be put into jail. He's probably going to lose his NBA contracts. He's probably going to lose his sponsorships. And also, he's been spending a whole bunch of money. So it's just like, okay, so you're going to have a life of crime, spending all of your money, all of your legal money. And now what are you going to do? If you go to jail and you already spend all your money, you're basically screwed. Like, these guys got to be a lot smarter. Let's see. What person of intelligence cares one bit? The NBA should sack him with immediate effect. His conduct off the field is disgraceful and a bad example to set for the younger generation who look up to him. The problem is, like, there's probably a lot of people that follow him, young guys, that are like, oh, I want to be able to spend 50K at a strip club. Oh, I want to be able to do whatever I basically want, right? But the thing is, like, he's going to get himself into so much trouble. Let's see, this surprises anyone, it's his money, and he's welcome to waste it however he likes. That is true. It is, after all, a free country. I do wish him well when he is aged out of professional basketball. I hope he stashes away a little bit of coin for a rainy day. I've heard that strippers aren't free. The thing is, this is also the type of guy that's probably going to have a bunch of baby mamas, and he's going to have to probably pay a crazy amount of child support. And, like, dude, you're like walking down a path where you are going to financially destroy yourself in a very quick timeline. Which I mean, he could do. He could technically just waste all of his money if he wants to. It's just like, to me, anytime I see someone break that like barrier of just making insane amounts of money that you almost can't believe it, like the 230 million plus contract, whatever, not to mention sponsorships, like he broke a barrier that not many people can get to. Like it's similar to like winning the lottery, right? And winning the lottery more than like $10 million, so I'm talking like $100 million lottery win, right? Like you broke a barrier of like money that very few people will ever get the chance to do that, and you're just going to ruin it. Like personally, it makes me a little bit sad. It's like you could do so much awesome stuff and also not screw yourself at the same time. At least he tipped. They usually don't. I have $20 on he'll never see the age of 30. Oh, that'd be really depressing. Bankrupt or dead within 10 years. He for sure is probably going to get bankrupt within 10 years. His parents in the NBA should be so proud. Model citizen for every young kid to emulate. This is what our American society is becoming, inexcusable when most people in America work a year for $50,000. The thing is, like, I don't necessarily care too much about the fact that he spent 50 grand or what he necessarily spent the 50 grand on. It's the fact that he's like going to the strip clubs, and if you read basically the meaning behind him going to the strip clubs and all that kind of stuff, he's spending his money constantly in that realm, like pretty constantly. It's not this guy's job to be a role model for kids. That's true. That's the job of the parents, and any parent that whines about his image should ask themselves why their kids would rather emulate him than them. Maybe you're not doing a great job of being a parent. Let's see. Anything else? And they wonder why they are broke when their career is over. Being able to spend slash waste $50,000 in one night is absolutely mind-boggling to me. And the thing is, it's like some pretty crazy like spending. But like just put it like this, right? So $50,000 divided by what? How much was his contract? On his contract was 200 something, right? Let's see. No, not there, not there. 231 million. Okay. 231 million. Well, I did that completely. Oh, okay. So 2.1 to the negative fourth. Oh, I don't want to do that math. But basically, it's like 0.0002% of his money, right? But still, it's like, again, it may not seem like that big of a deal in terms of like the ratio of the money that he potentially has versus how much he spends. But again, the problem is he spends this type of money probably pretty often on really stupid stuff, on very stupid vices. and vices that are probably all habits, right? I wouldn't be surprised if he also spends a lot of money on a certain type of plant. I wouldn't be surprised if he spends a lot of money on clothing, on jewelry, on cars that all go down in value, right? Like, that wouldn't be surprising to me. So he could easily be spending a million, a few million actually, per month, per year. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's spending like 20 million a year in just expenses. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up buying a mega mansion that costs him millions of dollars in just upkeep per year. I wouldn't be surprised if he's like taking care of his group that he used to grow up with for millions of dollars a year, right? That's something to like really think about. Like, it seems like it's not that big of a deal, but this is basically a clear sign that he's walking down the path of just blowing everything. Like, just blowing everything. Like, you have the golden ticket of being set for life, and you're just probably gonna just ruin it all, which is just so sad to see. By the way, if you want to learn how to get out of debt, go down below. But Jesus.